advantage in putting in these pathways. And unlike more developed regional suburban areas where there are footpaths and other refuges for cyclists to ride on, we don't have that. So our pathways are our only really safe place for children and for the elderly to be able to enjoy what's available to us.
G'day, I'm Bob Thurbin. I'm one of the volunteers building this pathway project, which we've been doing for the last 11 or 12 years. The project started because the residents had nowhere to walk or cycle apart from on the road, and in many places there was nowhere to walk apart from on the road. With the momentum, we got more money and more people, and I led the volunteers in the construction for the first 5 years. And then handed it over to other people, and I think that the greatest thing that came out of it was the development of the community spirit.
60–70% done by volunteers, so we've done probably 2.5 kilometres, 3 kilometres over those years. I suppose the funding is the number one thing, but you also need to form a group of willing workers and make sure that they're looked after a little bit.
There will be a lot of obstacles, definitely. It won't be plain sailing or easy going.
Construction on the cycle path started at Dalmeny in 1986, and progress was slow for quite a number of years until the community became involved about 8 years ago. The local mayor in fact called a public meeting and asked for the community support in the way of community donations and working bees, and from there on it took off. It took no time at all to complete the remaining few kilometres. Two gangs of local volunteers met every Saturday morning, one gang to form up the footpath and the other crew would pour the concrete. And they made rapid progress to complete this wonderful project. And so now we're looking to the government to find the final $100,000 or so to complete this missing link, and then the community will have big smiles on their faces again.
It's nice and steep, fire trail, go through some little creeks, and pistol shot road's really nice as well. But the real highlights of the single track, the guys have put a lot of effort in. There's some nice route sections, nice jumps. There's lots of stuff to think about, and yeah, I loved it.
Australians were really into cycling in the 1890s, and the local people here put together this velodrome. They built it themselves. The land was donated to the club, and the bicycle club of Corunna thrived right through until probably the beginning of the First World War, when most of the fittest and strongest young Australians went off to follow the flag, the bugle and glory. This was a very, very popular spot, and it has a fantastic view out over the ocean, handy to the beach. No doubt cyclists who wore themselves out on the track would then go down to the sea and freshen up on the beach.
Well, the track's been here since the early 80s. Was used pretty much right up until 1994. Then then it, like a lot of BMX, sort of dwindled away, and then a group of guys from back in the day started it up in 2010. We completely rebuilt the track with a grant from Sport and Rec and some money from the council, but on top of that we had about $25,000 worth of donations from the local community, businesses, guys who have kids that wanted to get back into it. So with that money, pretty much allowed us to build what you see today, which, you know, a track's worth about $50,000. Yeah, we're here every weekend. As you can see, great sport for families, particularly large families that have a lot of kids varying ages, so they can all race at the same place, including mum and dad, the same place on the same day.